Sarah, you were just on a call with U.S. officials. Break it down for us. What are they thinking about? Where do things stand right now?
So what we've heard on this briefing call is that President Donald Trump has ordered the USTR, the U.S. Trade Representative's office, to consider imposing 25% tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese goods. And that's up from 10% originally what they had been looking at. The USTR says, this isn't a done deal. They're going to put this range in between 10 and 25% into their, into the public sphere right now, and they'll have a hearing August 20th to 23rd. They've extended the period to get public comments in total to September 5th from August 30th, and they're going to hear back from American companies, industry groups, whoever wants to comment on this, to see what they think about imposing a 25% tariff instead of 10.
You mentioned they want to hear from American companies, industry groups. So far, they've been pretty loud, I think, in complaining about all this stuff. And so far, it sounds like they've been completely ignored. A, do you see any reason why that would change? And B, you said, I think, August 21st to 23rd. So August 24th, is that presumably the earliest we could see these be put in place?
You're right. We have not seen a lot of support for these tariffs from American industry, especially they've said, it's going to raise their costs and they're going to be forced to pass that on to the consumers. And so that's their bright light warning to the Trump administration. So I assume that they will not support 25% tariffs if they didn't want the 10%. But what we heard from USTR is, the motivation for this is that China has not changed its behavior. And They believe that, what they've actually done is say that they're going to retaliate. And they have retaliated when the U.S. has imposed the $34 billion. So I think, USTR is kind of justifying this as necessary because China is not relenting. It is not playing ball with them on changing their trading practices. So, in one sense, I feel like this could be a leverage point, a pressure point that the Trump administration is trying to put on China, yet one more escalation of this trade war.
Are there any indications that it's working in that sense? I mean, we had this headline about Treasury Secretary Mnuchin that they were talking about reopening talks without actually reopening the talks. Any signs that that this is what China is going to respond to, is more the stick than the carrot, so to speak?
Well, when this news of the 25% tariff was broke yesterday before this official announcement today, China actually did respond, and it said, we won't be blackmailed. So I don't think that they'll respond too kindly to the official announcement today. And when we spoke with the USTR officials today on this briefing call, they said, there are these lower level discussions that go on at any given time, but there's really no planned specific engagement, as they put it. And when we asked, too, has President Donald Trump spoke with Chinese President Xi Jinping about this lately, they referred back to the fact that the White House always tells us when there's been a call between two leaders, Donald Trump with another leader, and we really have not heard about that lately, though Trump often says he has a great personal relationship with the Chinese president. We have no reason to believe that they've been speaking behind the scenes about a trade deal.